Alright, this is a video on how to make a application with Vivox and Unity. I'm going to do a very bare bones project, and this is a very beginner tutorial. So if you already know how to use Vivox, this video is not for you. This is for people who don't know how to use Vivox. Alright, so just real quick though, Vivox or Unity owns Vivox, and today they just sent me an email, or a couple days ago or something like that, so basically Unity is now taking over the financial services, so things may change as far as pricing and all that. So this could be good or bad, but I think it's probably good because Unity's pretty, I think in terms of pricing and everything, they're pretty cool about that. The biggest thing that I noticed in this email though was that right here, Unity will be responsible for providing Vivox software and support. So to me this is a big one because honestly the Vivox forums, a lot of questions are asked and not a lot of them are answered. So hopefully when Unity takes over, we'll get some more documentation and maybe some more tutorials from other people, because right now if you search the internet, the only tutorial you'll find is by Infallible Code, and he's how I kind of figured out how to implement Vivox. I couldn't figure it out for the longest, even after watching his video, and his video is good, and he does explain like things pretty well, but he doesn't show you exactly how to implement it, so that's what I'm here to do today. But yeah, check out his Infallible Code's channel, subscribe, help his channel out. He has some good videos. Definitely someone to learn from. Alright, so basically yeah, if you go to developervivox.com, you'll see this page, and you click down here and create an account. I already got an account, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sign in. Alright, once you create your account with Vivox, it's going to bring you to this dashboard, which is the app dashboard right here. You can create a new application up top, or you can create one right here. So I'm just going to do that. You can choose any name you want, and then pick a genre, press continue. You can choose an icon or a picture, but I wouldn't do that probably until you're ready to ship your game. I'm going to press back because I already created an application, which is Vivox Voice Chat. So right now we're in sandbox mode, and that basically means this is development mode. Production mode means that your game has shipped, but for Vivox at the moment, in order to do that, you gotta submit it for approval, which means they're gonna check your code and see if it's ready to go live, basically, with a bunch of players. So we're gonna go back to sandbox, and only one person has used that, which is me, on the sample game that Vivox provides. So all this information right here is basically what we're going to use to connect to Vivox from Unity, and basically all the code that I'm going to show you is only for sandbox mode. It is not meant for production, so maybe if I figure it out, I'll do a video later on, but hopefully Vivox will gain more hype and people will make more tutorials on this, and the Vivox community will grow, and we can all help each other out. But yeah, until then, so basically go to Unity Hub and create a new application. I already got one. I'm just gonna click this Vivox one. Let Unity load on up while we're waiting for that.
They said that God was done with me, and he didn't have no love for me.
Alright, we're back. Okay, so basically what I did was I went to the asset store. I searched for Vivox. It's the first one that popped up right here. I clicked on it, and then I imported it. So I already imported the project, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to my scene. and then the imported project folder is right here called Vivox. So I'm gonna attempt to do this from scratch to the best of my ability, so bear with me. But let me show you something real quick. So if you click on the Vivox, go to samples, go to Tank's Unity game sample, go down to scenes, main scene. Let's widen up that game tab. Okay, so this is the sample project that Vivox has provided, and in order to get it work, you have to click on the Vivox Voice Manager. Let me widen this real quick. Okay, so basically go back to the Vivox, to that information real quick. Okay, so the API endpoint is the server, so you're going to want to copy paste into this area over here. Domain is domain. Down here, API keys, the issuer is the token issuer, and the secret key is the token key. That confused me a little bit when I first got started because the names didn't match, and I was a beginner and everything needed to match or else I didn't get it. So I finally figured it out watching some tutorials from Infallible Code and the Unity tutorial that they have. Yes, so alright, so we're gonna go to the scenes, and then basically that sample scene that Unity default comes with, I renamed it to login, and I haven't done anything with it. It's pretty empty, so we're gonna go back to assets. I'm gonna create a new C# script. Oh shoot, I messed up right there. Alright, let me rename it. Okay, I'm gonna rename it Vivox Manager, and you can call yours whatever you want to call it, but I'm just gonna call mine Vivox Manager. I'm gonna create an empty game object over here, and I'm gonna call that Vivox Manager as well. Okay, drag and drop that up on there. Okay, so let me open this up. I think I gotta rename it. It's not matching up. Oh shoot, I know what I did. No, never mind. Okay, so we're gonna rename this. So I'm gonna click on the new behavior script. I'm using Visual Studio 2019. I'm gonna press Control R twice. Well, I'm pressing hold Control and then press R twice, and this pops up, and it's basically gonna rename the file and all references of it. And I'm gonna call it Vivox Manager because I messed up in the beginning. And then save that bad boy with Control Shift S. Okay, so I'm gonna create a canvas. So go down to UI, click canvas. I'm just gonna leave it as canvas. What I am gonna do though is where it says canvas scaler, instead of constant pixel size, I'm gonna go scale with screen size, and I'm gonna do 1920 by 1080 for that high definition full screen. Okay, so and then canvas, right click, UI. I'm going to add a button. I'm gonna duplicate that button, go to UI. I'm gonna add an input field and duplicate that with Control D, and then canvas. What am I going to do? Add a text, duplicate that text, and I think that's it. Alright, so I'm gonna name this first button Login button. So basically I clicked on this and I pressed F2, and that's how I'm able to rename it so fast. Login button. The next one is gonna be log out button. I'm actually gonna need another button, so I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna call this one join channel button. Alright, drag that up there so they're all together. So this input field is gonna be username. This other one is gonna be channel name. So I'm only gonna show you how to do the voice in this tutorial. I couldn't figure out how to do the messages with this basic way of connecting to Vivox. So in a later tutorial, I'll show you the more advanced way, and yeah, which is technically a better system, because then you don't have to use the Vivox. You don't have to use the Vivox Voice Manager in the sample project. Okay, so this text is going to be username text, and then this last one, I'm going to call it channel ID text. Alright, so okay, I guess we'll organize it. So this is my game scene, and then this is my scene over here. So in the scene tab, you're going to press 2D if you haven't already. I'm going to scroll out a little bit so I can see my UI. Alright, bam, there it is. Let's click on the login button, press W, drag that on up. Actually, login button, we'll change the text so we know what it is, and then I'm gonna change the font to 32, and then I'm gonna make this button a little bigger. Let's click on the login button, press T, you get the little blue stretchy thing. Okay, probably should have just made this button first and then duplicated that, but it is what it is. Yeah, so and then we'll go to the username input field and then drag that on up. I'm gonna change the placeholder to enter username, and then the text is cool. Actually, text is 32, and then placeholder text is size 32. I'm trying to do this somewhat fast. It's not really that fast, but you can always pause the video if you're having a hard time keeping up. But to me, this is pretty slow. This is my first video, so I don't know. I'm just going along. Alright, let's scroll in a little bit so I can see what's going on here. Alright, enter username. Alright, let's get that logout button. Drag that one on up here. You can call all these whatever you want. I'm just kind of going through and doing it. So yeah.
They said I wouldn't be no one, but I know I'ma be someone. Get up, it's time to go. Get up, cause God ain't done. Get up, it's time to grow. You ready? Cause I'm ready, man, it just begun. Yo. Get up, it's time to go. Get up, cause God ain't done. Get up, it's time to grow. You ready? Cause I'm ready, man, it just begun. Yo, they said I'd never be nothing. They said God couldn't use me. He made nothing out of something, and he did it like a nothing. I watch him use me. Hey, you were made to be humble. Yeah, you were made to be noble. Whether local or global, defeating the code with the God till it's over. Eyes on the pride to the side. When you slide to the side, then we ride to the other side. Hard not to cry, then I start to cry when I think about it. My brother died on the other side. Hey, Satan getting on my last nerve. Why you always speaking bad words? I said gotta get the last word. Ain't no walking back when you truly saw the message. Don't count me out, you better count me in. Never get mad when I'm bouncing in. Like not him again, not twin again, not them again, him and the friends again. But seen an online baptism. That's what happened when you try to think I can't get him. Matter of fact, this ain't nothing like a catechism. Brother Bryan keep a rhyme with the rap rhythm. Bring it back, ayy. Poetic poet, you know the Holy Ghost wrote it. Your hocus pocus is bogus. I hate you vultures. You see me glowing and going, that's why I'm growing. My king is Jesus. I love you, Jesus. You truly chosen. They said that God was done with me, and he didn't have no love for me. They said I wouldn't be no one, but I know I'ma be someone. Get up, it's time to go. Get up, cause God ain't done. Get up, it's time to grow. You ready? Cause I'm ready, man, it just begun. Yo. Get up, it's time to go. Get up, cause God ain't done. Get up, it's time to grow. You ready? Cause I'm ready, man, it just begun.
Look, I'ma give it all that I got. The spirit, the power, the spirit of love. He came in and laid down his life, so it's only right that I go swim in the blood. He filling me up with his goodness, they never thought I would come out of the grave. There's power inside of these words that we speak, man, these mountains gon' move when I say. I was right there at the bottom. I would go pick up the bottle. I would go fade away, try to forget it, I never thought I was the problem. The The enemy coming, they trying to come get me. I know that they trying to entice me. I'ma go worship my way through it all, the way my creator designed me. Got this conviction inside me. I can remember that sin would excite me. The Father is testing me, Satan is tempting me, but I'm gonna let it refine me. Down in the valley, on top of the mountain, I'ma go praise him, we don't know the hour. Look what he did for me, how could I doubt him, and how could I doubt him when I was the one that was stuck in my ways. I was deceitful, just loving my ways. I'ma go worship with all of my days. I'ma go seek him and fall on my face. Yeah, heaven on my side, I'ma sing this song. Heaven was calling, I had to respond. I'm a new creature, the dead man is gone. Down in the water, yeah, I've been reborn.
They said that God was done with me, and he didn't have no love for me. They said I wouldn't be no.
So this is my little UI. It's not very good, but we're going after functionality here, not beautifulness. So this is just a basic implementation. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to type your username in here, then you're going to log in, and then you can log out whenever, and then you just enter a channel name and join channel button. And now this seems very basic, but let's say you build your project, and then you put the build on a USB, put it in a different computer. It's gonna work because it's connecting to the Vivox, it's connecting to Vivox using these keys. So the sample project that you need, that comes with Vivox, it's in the assets, Vivox, samples, the Tank Unity game sample. So this one is so this one uses mirror, basically what I'm trying to say. It uses mirror, and so it connects the Vivox client and it connects the mirror client. So it's like two networking streams, I guess. So we're not going to use the mirror, we're just going to use the Vivox, but that's how it's going to work basically, if you're curious how it's connecting. Okay, so open up the Vivox manager script. I'm gonna actually go back to the login scene. Alright, so here we are, we're back. Okay, so Vivox manager script. Alright, so this is gonna be all the code. We don't even need the start function. You can keep it if you want, but I'm going to use the awake method. And so up top, actually first of all, let's go using Vivox Unity, and then I'm gonna Control D right here, and then I'm going to add the UI because we're gonna need that. So I'm gonna create a reference to the Vivox Voice Manager, and I'm just gonna call it Vivox, and then we're gonna create a client, and so if you're also using mirror, you may have conflicting arguments right here, so you may actually have to like type it like this, Vivox Unity.client, or if you're using any other networking solution. But for now we're not using anything like that, so we'll just get the client equals new client. Alrighty, and then in the awake function, so this basically creates a new instance of the client, but for the Vivox Voice Manager we're gonna get an existing instance. So we're gonna go Vivox Voice Manager, Vivox Voice Manager instance, and this will get the singleton that is currently in the project. There should only be one. Alrighty, and then the client, we're going to uninitialize it to just in case there's a previous app that didn't close properly, and then we're going to initialize it properly. And then we're also going to add a listener dot on user logged in event plus equals logged in. And so it doesn't exist yet, so I'm going to press Control period. Pops up this little window. We're going to generate the method. Bam, it generated it for us. Drag it down here. Actually, we don't even need to update, so I can just delete that. Alright, so what else do we need? We need the on application quit. So right here we're gonna check to see if Vivox.login state equals login state dot logged in. So we're checking to see if it's logged in to make sure that we can properly log out. If you don't do that, it'll throw an error when it's closing. And get the client, and we're gonna uninitialize it, so to properly disconnect from Vivox and clean up any resources. Alright, so now we're gonna get some of the UI functionality from the canvas. So we got the UI imported up top. So I'm gonna do some serialized fields here. Serialized fields, we're gonna do input field, and that's gonna be input username. Yeah, alright. Copy that. This is gonna be input channel name, and then we'll do another serialized field. And then this serialized field is gonna be text. Yeah, text. We're just gonna text username. Copy that. We're gonna do text channel name. Alright, so we'll get those references. You can also do a header, and then just say login UI, and that'll appear in the inspector. So for the logged in method, or the callback, actually it's going to be called back when a user is logged in. We're going to go text.username.text equals Vivox dot login session dot login session ID. We're gonna go with the display name. Alright, and right here you can also like change scenes if you want, or however you want to do this. So then we're gonna add a method right here, public void login, and this is very simple. Vivox login, and then the display name is going to be the text, or the input username dot text. So I guess right here, you can technically like check for voids, for inappropriate words. You can filter this text however you want. We're just going to do a basic string dot is null or empty, and then input dot username dot text, and we're just making sure that there's something in the field before we can log in. And we're gonna add this not. So this basically means that, so originally its string is null or empty, and by adding this, now its string is not null or empty. Then we'll do this. Okay, so alright, we're logged in. We got the login callback, so now we'll just do the logout button. Public void logout, and we can copy this code up here, because it's basically, we're doing the same thing. We got to check to see if we're logged in first, and then if we are logged in, then we'll log out. And that's just to prevent an exception or errors being thrown. Okay, so we got the logout. Now we want the join channel. So public void join channel. Alright, now for this one, I'm gonna copy this right here, and I'm gonna paste that down here, and instead of input username, we're gonna do input channel name. And this is checking to see if the channel name has anything in it. Alright, now what do we do? Vivox.join channel, and the channel name is going to be the input channel name dot text. The channel type is going to be non-positional. So basically, non-positional is for like a chat, like a typical conferencing channel, or like a chat application. Positional is for like 3D audio, 3D positional effects, and then echo is like the user's text and audio is echoed back to that user. I'm not sure what purpose you would need for that, but it's an option. So we're gonna go with just non-positional. Vivox Voice Manager chat capability, and we're gonna do text and audio. We're just gonna do audio only because I don't actually know how to send text with this way of doing it. I know another way of doing it, but it's more complicated. I'll show that in a later video. And as far as the bull switch transmission true and channel 3D properties, you can type null on both, or you can just just leave it blank and it'll be alright. Oh shoot, wrong thing. Alright, so bam, and then after, and we also want to the text channel name dot text equals the input channel name dot text. Okay, so theoretically I think this is everything. Let's see, log in, log out, and join channel. Yeah, so this is everything that we need at the moment. This is like literally bare bones, just enough to get you up and started and working and excited about using Vivox. Okay, so let's go to our login button. We're gonna add an event down here towards the bottom, the on click. We're gonna click the plus sign. We're gonna get our Vivox Manager game object, drag it to where it says none, click no function, Vivox Manager, and we're going to click the login method. For the log out, same thing, click the plus, Vivox Manager on down, Vivox Manager, and then log out, and then join channel button, add another event, and then Vivox Manager, and then join channel. And so this is all pretty simple. It's actually, we gotta do one thing, go to build settings. We need to add our scene for future purposes. So add the login scene. So this is just basically to help with your build. If you decide to build this to test it, to see if it works. So I'm gonna click on the player settings, go down to resolution and presentation, go down to windowed. You can change it to any size you want. I would recommend though choosing resizable window. And what else do we want? I think that's it for now. Okay. And what else do we want to do? Okay, I think we're good. Oh, there is one thing we got to do. So, if you did attempt to use the sample project provided by Vivox, you may have a problem. With this method. This may not work for you, and you might have to restart your project from scratch, or re-import Vivox and just not mess with the sample project. But if you do go to the Tanks Unity game sample and then go down to the scripts instead of trying to load the scene, go to Vivox and then the Vivox Voice Manager. We're gonna open that up. Alright, so when the Vivox Voice Manager opens up, you're gonna see these values right here. These are not the values that you want to change. You're gonna want to go up to member variables and change these values. So don't make the mistake that I did and change these values, change the member variable values. Alright, so let's copy and paste. So basically the API endpoint, we're gonna copy with Control C and paste it in here where it says server. Same thing with the domain, and then I'm pasting it with Control V if you're wondering. same thing. So the issuer is the token issuer, and the secret key is the token key. Alright, so your values will look different than mine, but this is where you want to put them at. You can save in Visual Studio 2019 with Control-Shift-S, and then we can close that up, or you can go up top, File, and then Save All. Okay, so close that down. Alrighty. Alright, I'm going to clear the console. Gonna start this bad boy up. Okay, looks like we're good to go. So log in, can't log in because this is empty. My name is John, so John it is, login button. Alright, so down here it says detecting login session change, logging in, detecting login session change, and then connected to voice server and logged in. So if it's connected to the voice server and logged in, that means you are successfully connected. And then down here you can join the channel, and then we'll just call this tester, and then join channel button. I'm gonna press that right now, but don't log in and then immediately try to join the channel. You gotta wait and make sure that it says connected to voice server and logged in. And you can control that, like you can disable these right here, the button and the input field. You can disable that in the up here in the awake function or the start function, and then when we're logged in, which is a callback that is called on user logged in event, it's going to call the logged in method, and right here we're changing the username when we're logged in, the display name, which is right here. So in this little method, that's where you can re-enable your join channel button and your input field for the channel name to allow the user to input the channel. So yeah, just something that you can do if you like to prevent errors and everything. Alright, so we're gonna press join channel button, and on the bottom you'll see on speech detected event if everything went right. And because I'm talking right now, well, it just went up, but if I keep talking, nothing's going to happen to it. It's just going to keep staying at 5. But if I stopped talking for a little bit and it changed. So it goes up 1 when you start talking, and it goes up 1 when you stop talking. So it's basically, there's a callback for when speech is detected, and then it calls back again when there's no speech detected. So you'll always get it like in 2 short bursts if you don't talk that much. Something like that. Yeah, 21, 22. Anyways, alright, so this is the address that Vivox uses to connect. It explains it in the documentation, so you can check that out if you want. But basically, tester, that's the channel name. Tester is right here. And then this is I put John as my username, but this is what Vivox has given me, John. And you can change that as the developer. It tells you how to do it in the documentation, and you can assign custom actual names like this, and then have a different display name depending on what your user decides to use as their gamer tag or whatever. And this is the domain name, and I don't really know what this is. It has something to do with the channel type, and I think the voice type. I don't know. Anyways, you can read up on that in the documentation. So that's basically it. I know this doesn't look like much, but because I'm only one person and I'm not showing it working with 2 people, but if you build the application and you put it, you have 2 laptops and you test it, it will work as long as the on speech detected event is showing up in Unity. That means that you can build your application and it'll work. So yeah, man, that's basically it. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something. I plan on doing a little mini series on the more complicated way of connecting to the Vivox Voice, and in that series I'll actually show you how to send text messages a different way. I didn't show you in this one because I didn't know how to do it in this simpler way. So yeah, I hope to make that pretty soon.